Oh, I can see.
Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call our meeting to order, our council meeting for August the 11th. And I'd like to call the meeting to order. Could I have a motion?
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor McInnes, that this meeting be opened at 7 p.m.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have the adoption of the agenda. Mover and a seconder.
Moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor Featherstone, that the agenda presented to council and dated the 11th day of August 2026 be adopted as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Having none, we'll move forward. Can I have the adoption of the previous minutes?
Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor Clark, that the minutes of the regular council meeting of July 14th, 2026 be adopted as circulated.
All in favor? Carried. No presentations of delegation.
None for this evening?
No question period.
No questions.
Next, we have staff reports. We have a report from Fire Chief, the change of service and tiered response agreement on motor vehicles. Is that what you're going to talk about?
Good evening, Your Worship. Yes, that is what I'm going to talk about tonight.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mayor and Council. The report that I have tabled before you, what I would like to do is to change our level of service in response to MVCs or motor vehicle collisions. My report that I've tabled mirrors what other jurisdictions like East Ferris, Calvin, Nipissing, Powassan, Calendar, they all respond to every single MVC that's called in, whereas right now we only respond depending on information that we get from the call taker or from the caller. Mm-hmm. So right now our current language is that we provide possible need for extraction to free a patient, fire suppression, or field spill containment. So it's not very encompassing. It's very generalized. So with that, I'm proposing a change that we shall be notified of all motor vehicle collisions involving a motorized vehicle, including but not limited to cars, trucks, motorcycles, snowmobiles, and ATVs. The premise behind all that is, if you look on page, of me is page 2, the table, from January 1st, 2025 until August 6, 2020. Oh, sorry. When 2025, 26 May, June 16, 2026. Oh, sorry, July 10th would be the most current one, 2026. CAC was notified of 8 MVCs, and we only responded to 2 of them. Those ones that are in red, those are the only ones that we actually responded to. Now, with this language, what it encompasses, it does not mean that we will respond to every single minor collision or fender bender. With our 2 provincial highways in our jurisdiction, there is a higher probability of a greater high-speed impact, which because of the response time for paramedics and for OPP, I feel that we would offer a great service to the town residents if we get notified of every MVC, because we're there not just for fuel spill cleanup, but we're also there for traffic control and, most importantly, for patient contact and patient stabilization. Just us being there alone can calm down the patient and allow us to treat them accordingly to our medical directives. I have been in touch with with the paramedic chief, and he is just waiting for council's decision on whether they're going to adopt or not adopt this motion. And then I can talk with the Chief Dan tomorrow morning on the particulars of the motion. If you look at from a perspective is, okay, what time, when will the calls come in? What time of day? Do we have enough staff on duty or able to respond? This year alone, we've only missed one call, and that was a medical call to the medical center. And we were actually tiered in error. We should not have even been called to that because it didn't meet the criteria for medical tier response. So in actuality, we have responded to every single call for assistance this year since January 1st, 2026. I know last year was a bit of a challenge because we had a lot of new staff come on board, and a lot of our new staff were not medically trained to our minimum standards. So last year there was quite a few calls that we did not respond to because we didn't have the medically trained staff, and they were all medical calls. The MVCs that we have been tiered to, that we have responded, we get an average of 7 firefighters out. So we have enough personnel for not only for patient assessment, patient contact, but scene safety for us as well as for the other motorists in the area. So also I'm asking council is to adopt this motion, this report, so that way it puts us in line with all of their neighboring departments for what they do for their tier response. I will be happy to take any questions that you may have on this report.
Any questions?
So this doesn't have any fender benders on it, right? These
No,
are
no, it
the
does not.
ones that- okay.
Any further
And I got a call, of course.
That's okay.
It's
We
okay.
had no questions. Thanks.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Great. See ya.
Bye. Bye.
That call is fake. He didn't want to answer
That
questions.
emergency.
Yeah.
Uh,
How do we get one of those bells?
Is he gone?
Yeah, I think he
Yeah,
just.
he's
I
just
think
stuck
so.
with that, yeah.
Okay, so do we have a mover and a seconder to accept this report?
Okay, he's gone. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Featherstone, that the fire chief recommends to council to consider and not adopt the language for change of service that the Bonnfield Fire Department provides with regards to motor vehicle collisions.
All in favor? Thank you. Next, we have the report from the planning administrator. It's a motion for the planning.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not as long as. what
You're
I had
not
to-
reading it,
No,
right?
It's not as long as what I had to read.
I don't have to read this, Andre.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, darn it. Jeez.
Mover and a seconder for Andre.
Moved by Councillor McInnes, seconded by Councillor Corbett, whereas Kirsten Batkey and Stephen Brooks have requested to purchase a portion of the township's Shore Road road allowance directly abutting their property located at 71 Lakeshore Road, Bonnfield, be it hereby resolved that council approves of this purchase in principle and that the planning administrator proceed accordingly, and further that in accordance with bylaw 2013-13, that Kirsten Badke and Stephen Brooks shall be responsible for all disbursements incurred by the township and shall submit the required deposit prior to the commencement of legal work.
All in favor? Gary? Okay, then we go to the adoptions of the committee minutes for the Emergency Services Committee. There's a mover and a seconder.
Moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor McInnes, whereas the Emergency Services Committee recommends to council to hire Nolan Manette to the rank of probationary firefighter for the Bonfield Volunteer Fire Department. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of the recommendation.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have a motion for the corporate services meeting.
Oh, sorry.
Whoop,
Well, I just wanted to say that at our meeting, we did ask staff to look at fire signs at the entrance and egress so that I know some people had inquired about that. So we are looking to put signs in appropriate places for the fire rating.
and I think that's a very good idea, and I
Yes.
have to speak to Nikki as well, because I did see on the Talon Lake Facebook that the road, the entrance to the dock down there was blocked because they were parking on both sides of the road. So I did contact Nikki, and she spoke with Alex. And then I went down on Saturday morning, and they were all parked on the right side of the road.
Did you
where they
give them
should
some
have been.
tickets?
No.
Did you issue them
I
tickets?
should have brought courtesy tickets, but it worked, and people just don't think. And I went down there one night, and the ambulance went through. I wasn't chasing the ambulance, but I thought maybe they went to my brother's. So when they didn't, I drove on, and they were trying to bring somebody, and that poor ambulance is trying to go. They were parked on both sides of the road. So that's when they put the signs up, but I guess somebody just pulled them out, eh? No, it made a difference when you could drive through with cars on only one side. And that's also a filling station, an important filling station for the area down there. So that was good that it was resolved.
It's great to see it being used.
Yeah.
It's also great to see our government dock on this side being used as well. I got the same kind of concern about just people can't launch their boats anymore, like on popular weekends, because parking is, like, everyone's parked everywhere, so it's limiting access on. So I don't know, like, we can't get in a position where we're gonna be able to enforce anything on weekends because we don't have weekend staff, but maybe we could look at parking signs just to try and, we can talk about that at
Yeah,
some
the
point, but
signs would make a difference,
Yeah, for
I'm sure. They would scare me too if I drove down. No parking, I'd go the other side.
And it's gonna have a finger that says, "We mean you, Nary."
Yeah.
So that's good then. So, next, did we do the corporate services motion?
You were just doing
No.
that one.
Okay, we need a mover and a seconder for that.
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor McInnes, whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends to council to rehabilitate Railway Street in 3 distinct sections as presented, and further agrees to earmark funds and apply for senior government funds as appropriate to complete the project. Section 1, railway tracks to Mark Sunnyside Road. Section 2, Mark Sunnyside Road to Church Street. Section 3, Church Street to Young Street. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of the recommendation.
All in favor? Sorry, carried. And next we have the letter from Carrie Ross. There is another motion here.
Yes, from,
Do that one
Yeah.
now? Okay, that's to do, to repair the Mount Pleasant Cemetery sign. We need a mover and a seconder.
moved by Councillor McInnes, seconded by Councillor Clark, whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends to council that Leanne Marlowe and Ronald McLaren be authorized to repair the Mount Pleasant Cemetery sign as presented, and further that all costs as quoted be covered by the township. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of the recommendation.
All in favor? Carried. And we have another motion from the corporate services. It's a motion with respect to the asset management.
Moved by Counselor Corbett, seconded by Counselor Clark. Whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends that council consider option A during budget deliberations to establish an annual dedicated asset management reserve contribution of 3% to help reduce the gap between the funding required to proper asset management and the township's current spending levels. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of the recommendation.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, next we have the letter from Carrie Ross. Right?
Mhm.
Any comments?
Yeah, it was good information, I thought. And, you know, I think possibly we could see, I know that we are at the mercy of the vendor, but maybe we could request a later, but yes, I know, I'm just saying that it's possible. And I think that, I mean, this is going to be for next year because it's done once a year. So this is, it's finished for this year.
Right. I mean, I completely agree with the letter. I have bees and all that kind of stuff myself, but I mean, ultimately it comes down to road safety. And for the 8 feet of the road that's cut on either side, we cannot not do it because then if anything happens, the township would be liable.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the letter. I mean, I'm a big supporter of pollinators, but this is just something that has to be done and then we can't put it off because there's only really one vendor around that does this work. And if you miss the window, there's no sense doing it in September because the grass is starting to die anyways. So.
Any other comment?
I share the comments. I appreciate the letter. I thought it was, it's good information to consider moving forward. Absolutely.
And I agree as well. And you guys are all aware that I did plant little small gardens this year. But in the beginning, they didn't seem to be producing any products. And so of course, I had to read up about it. And the one thing is if you don't have bumblebee or bees there to pollinate, you don't get any results. So I do see a few bees around there now. And because bees used to be plentiful, right? But I do see bees and I do have tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers and
These aren't the plastic
Zucchini.
plants that you bought though.
but I never thought of it, I never thought of it until why is nothing happening? And then and I read where there was the lack of the bees and lack of vegetables or fruit. So
I mean, to that point, I'll just say I would be open to the idea of finding offsetting property somewhere that we allow to naturalize to support the bees. Like, I think it's important that we maintain the roads, but if there's that offsetting property, because I agree, I think that's important work that happens, but finding somewhere to allow it to naturalize and support the pollinators.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, we encourage, like, in where I work, we encourage the people like to dig up the milkweed or the black-eyed Susan and transplant them to their property, and then they don't get killed.
We also do no mow May, right? So, we don't mow our grass in May or the early spring, so that's a lot of, if you've got a lot of fields, we don't mow the grass because a lot of the little flowers are coming up then. And so then the bees, but I think that's a thing, no mow May?
It
No?
is.
Yeah.
It is.
yeah, if
Well,
you
we could
leave your
promote that,
clover
right,
there
as a
and you
township.
don't cut your grass for a while with the
Yeah,
clover and
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
And-
maybe to that point, we look and just say, maybe the township does not cut like some of the fields in May, like or like maybe it's not all of them, but like the
Yeah.
ones that are not heavily used, I don't really want to do that in an apartment, it's
Yeah,
heavily
yeah.
used, but if there's
Right.
areas that we could do that with little effect.
Yeah, and it's good education for everybody.
Yes, for
Absolutely.
sure, for
Oh,
sure.
no, I got stung by the hornets last year, but they're hornets, not
Not
bees,
bees,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
They don't pollinate, they just sting.
They
Yeah.
just bite.
Not as fun.
So, next we have the bylaw to establish and regulate a fire department. A mover and a seconder.
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Featherstone, that the council for the township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2026-36, being a bylaw to establish and regulate a fire department as presented and is considered read 3 times and passed this 11th day of August 2026.
All in favor?
Can I just, sorry, I just
Oh.
want to say that this is a very important, the establishing bylaw. Also that it hasn't been updated since 1995, so there was a lot to update. Also, very importantly, it says what we do, but it also says what we don't do, which I think is very important. And another aspect of it too is that it outlines what a volunteer firefighter being a member of that, what that means. So, and I think that these things are very important for our township, so that it's, you know, part of our liability. It's the understanding, everybody understands, you know, what they're getting into. So, good work.
And this might be the time to ask as well. This could be Donna or Steve or Nikki. With respect to the mutual aid and the automatic aid, and the difference of why, if it's, I don't mean our fire, but if it's on our property next to Calvin or East Ferris, and what happens with mutual aid? I guess mutual aid, you have to go in, they have to wait for our fire department to go in there. Automatic aid, they will automatically go in, right? And how come we don't have automatic aid when we live so close to the other municipality? Just a question.
No, it's a fair question. I know there's lots of municipalities who do have automatic aid agreements. It really comes down to the resources. So I'm not sure that it's ever been brought to our neighbors to actually ask that question. Are they interested in doing automatic aid? So it is so mutual aid, if there's a fire in Bonfield, like you said, there would be, Bonfield would respond, but sometimes there's a call that's on a boundary road and dispatch doesn't know which municipality to call. So another municipality will get dispatched to a fire that's actually on our side of the road. They will obviously put it out because they're not going to let something burn. If it's on hydro lines or something, they'll wait for hydro to get there, but they're monitoring it to make sure it doesn't get out of control. But sometimes they're dispatched and we're not dispatched, but they still, even without the automatic aid, they still will monitor to make sure that there's nothing out of control until we are able to respond. But it's certainly something that you could bring back to the committee and see if there's interest in with our neighbors.
Didn't we just have a recent example of that?
In
On
Calvin.
the weekend,
Yeah.
yes.
And did we receive a dispatch call?
We did not receive a dispatch.
Right. So it was on our side, but we didn't even know about it because we didn't get the
Yeah, we
dispatch
didn't
call.
get a dispatch.
Yeah.
Part of it, I think, too, is the fire department's worked really hard in becoming a legitimate fire department. They've put in a time and effort in getting all their courses caught up and all their bookwork and training and everything caught up. And we're at the point now that we can reach out to some of those other municipalities and actually work with them. Whereas, 3 or 4 years ago, that wasn't the case. When we were reaching out, we were getting a lot of no's, and now we're joint training and sharing equipment and
That
things like
makes a
that. So
difference.
And yeah, upgrading our equipment is a big thing too. So,
Okay,
but that's a good question. That was a good question.
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, now we're to correspondence. Motion to accept the correspondence, and then we'll give Andre what you want to support. Can I have a motion?
Moved by Counselor Corbett, seconded by Counselor Featherstone, that council receives the correspondence circulated with the agenda of August 11th, 2026, and further that council supports the following items.
C.
C.
Anybody?
Yeah, C.
Yeah, C is
Yeah.
clear.
Could you change that to tripling?
Yeah,
Okay.
doubling on the Ontario
Tripling
Community
of the,
Infrastructure Fund.
CIF.
And I would like E also, please, physician shortage in Northern Ontario.
Storage. Would,
Any?
No, they covered mine.
would
Okay.
like to bring people to the attention of the HERE initiative, though, which is, if they haven't filled out the survey, we encourage you to do that. I know that it was posted on our Facebook page. Collects very valuable information for rural communities.
The 3 people who watch are now well informed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have items C, E, and H, and further that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the appropriate ministries, the originator of the proposal, and MPP Vic Fideli and/or MP Pauline Rochford.
I think H was just for
All in
information.
favor?
Yeah.
Carry. Don't close session.
No.
Okay, we have the confirmatory bylaw, but I have something that I would like to discuss with council in an open council because it also involves the public. And I'm hoping council will bear with me. Yesterday, something came up and I was here for 3 hours. And I felt that when I left, that we had a great 3 hours. I appreciated the work that Simon had done, what Nikki had done, and how the economic development was moving along. I was very impressed with the report. So after I left here, and I was approached by someone, and when I got home, I received a phone call as well. When I come on council, I've been worked as a volunteer in this community for almost 35 years. I don't want anything from anyone. I don't want a thank you. I don't want anything, but I do appreciate respect. I can go along with the issues and that mayor didn't do this, the mayor didn't do that. I can go along with that. But what I can't do, there's no one here that would be any more frustrated than I am with myself because I have the hearing problem. However, the comments out there, when it came to me yesterday from 3 people when I left here, so pleased what we had accomplished in the morning. And the people out there, and not all of the people, some people are saying it, and it's not fair, that I'm crazy, that I have dementia, that I forget what I'm doing. All of that has come back to me. And I didn't come back for 4 years later to have that. And I'm okay with it. That's people out there, and that's what they think. But I challenge anybody to come and check my mental health. I'm not running because I've done my share. I've been here long enough, and I love the people in the community, the old people that have been here. I don't know the new people, but I know the new people came here because they saw potential and they love this community the same as I do. So having said that, I don't want to comment. I don't want anything back from anybody, but I would just like people to know that there are many hurtful things out there that's not necessary. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll thank you for letting me say what I thought. That's the best way to deal with things, is to bring it to a head and deal with it, and that's what I've done, and I say thank you. Could I please have a motion to close?
Confirmatory bylaw.
Oh,
first,
sorry, yeah. Sorry, the confirmatory bylaw. A mover and a seconder.
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor McInnes, that the Council for the Township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2026-35 to confirm the proceedings of council from July 14th, 2026 to August 11th, 2026, as presented and is considered read 3 times and passed this 11th day of August, 2026.
All in favor? Harry? And then the motion. Oh,
Just before we close, sorry, Mary, just wanted to recognize Lisa Laird as well, Dorschner. She worked at the Case Alliance for a long time, for 14 years in Bonfield, and has done great things for our community. She was on our rec board for a long time. She retired on Friday, so
Oh, yes,
her last day is at the Case is done. Her and her family are moving south to be closer to family, so we wish her all the wellness and in her future, but we'll definitely miss her in this community for sure.
and everybody's going to miss Lise, that's
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. She's worked with all of us, and she's always been there.
Yeah.
And thanks for bringing that up. And
Very
everybody
special
signed the
person.
card, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
very, yeah, champion for Bonfield.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
yes. That's
Good.
good. Gonna leave a
We
gap.
have a mover and a seconder to close the meeting.
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Featherstone, that this meeting be adjourned at 7:31 PM.
All in favor? Carried. Good night, everyone, and thank you for joining our meeting. We don't have many people out there.